Yeah, we got to remember, keep it in context who we're dealing with. We're dealing with college-age students, 18 to 22, and they've been through a lot the last week. Emotionally draining games, put a lot out there, didn't get much out of it, and the the big trap today was to fight the big letdown. And we challenged them pretty hard, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was concerned during batting practice. They were quiet. I didn't see a lot of energy. We came out and it was interesting, and we got stunned a little bit. They did a nice job executing some first and thirds and getting a lead on us. But I saw a calmness about our guys. There wasn't a panic. They just kept grinding, and it wasn't anything that, just kind of a calming sense they had and a confidence that I'm just really proud of them to keep it together like that and to have the tie and run at third with nobody on or nobody out, and to see Josh be able to get it back under control. And now I didn't even know he was tying the record, but now it makes sense why he was overthrowing a slider for the first four of them. And he finally, got it calmed down and found a way to get it done. So just a great team effort. A lot of guys stepped up with a couple guys down to injuries today, and I'm just really proud of the boys.
When you say you challenge them, what does that mean? Just like talking to them, or just saying, hey, these are this?
Well, just that this is that moment in the season. I mean, you could go, you could go one way or another. You could easily start thinking about yourself and getting yours, and it's obviously we've made it very difficult on ourselves to make the postseason. Heck, we haven't even qualified for our own conference tournament yet. And you can really start to lose your focus on a lot of your team goals and what our focus has been from the get-go. And that's kind of the challenge, that you're still have those goals attainable, and that you continue to grind like we do. And it's we were challenged early with that, but that's why I'm so proud of them, that they kept it together and stayed and did it for the family. And yeah.
The re-entering of Miller, was that one of those things you guys test each other on and knowledge of rules?
That was a little odd one, but at that time, I mean, the way it was setting up, Ben was coming in that next inning, and he's hitting, and you're like, well, I mean, you kind of want to pinch run for him. No offense, Ben, but at that time when you pinch run or pinch hit for the DH, at that time you can designate him as the pitcher at that time, and that's what I did, and that's how it worked.
Jake, what was your approach, I guess, as the bases loaded there? And it was a situation that you guys had a lot against Iowa. What was going to be your thoughts like that?
My thought against him was just to see the ball up, and it was just a great job by teammates getting on base, and I think it was Taylor Fish with a real nice bunt on a ball that was going to hit him in the chest. But yeah, I just wanted to see him up, and he left one over the plate, and I just put a good swing on it.
Josh, how do you adjust mentally there in the ninth after giving up those two extra base hits to get the guy on third with one out, and then you're able to get the ground out and strikeouts?
Yeah, I just kept telling myself to calm down, especially that last batter I missed my spot on the guy and ended up getting lucky and jamming him for the ground up for the second out. And, my nerves were still a little tense, and I was a little hyped up. So all I could hear was, Coach Silva just in my head saying, stop overthrowing. It's about location, location, location. And I was able to just take a deep breath and calm myself down and, just lock it in for the last batter and leave him there on third base.
How do you keep from going low when the ball goes in the corner of the first two guys?
I kind of just, the first one I was just like, all right, you held on to your slider too long and you left it over the middle of the plate. And then it happened again, and I was just like, okay, well, that's the second time. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. And so, you kind of just have to reassure yourself and have the confidence in your pitches. And, it's not like you're trying to tell yourself, okay, like crap, you just lost all control of whatever you have. But, you just stay confident and you keep locating your pitches.
Josh, just kind of describe this feeling. Like Coach said, you guys have had some tough games over the last 2 weeks where you haven't come through in clutch moments, and today you did. Just you and the non-hitting Jake, with this hit and other guys too stepping up. What's it feel like to come to have?
It's for me, it's emotional because you see a team with a bunch of fight, and and you know we just haven't had great success. I mean, this last weekend, you know, we fighting, and like Coach said, a bunch of emotions going into it, and you keep seeing yourself falling short, short at the very end, and it's just like, you know, when a baseball god's going to reward you for, you know, keep competing and fighting and all this other stuff. And you know, tonight it was like, okay, everything came through for us. We kept fighting, and we kept grinding, and it just paid off for us. And so yeah, I feel like, you know, it could be a turning point. We just got to keep building off of it and keep going.
Josh, can you kind of break down that final at that with this drill? Looks like you got him off speed, but you found a couple off. And looks like a pretty big battle.
Yeah, I mean, I basically got ahead. I think it was with nothing but fastballs, and then we just kept pounding him with fastball and fastball and fastball, and we wanted to stretch a slider, and I ended up trying to overthrow that one too. So that one missed high and outside, and then he called a slider again, and I was just like, okay, you know, execute this pitch right here, location, 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 and I was able to, you know, execute it where it needed to be and got him to swing over the top of it.
Ben, you hadn't pitched since March 20th, and all of a sudden, you know, you're coming in the 8th inning trying to protect that lead, obviously in a game that you guys needed mentally. I guess what's your mindset as you're taking the mound?
You know, sometimes it's tough being not pitching in a while and just being in the DH spot. But I mean, I've been throwing and keeping up with things, and got told to go down to the bullpen a few times. And you know, sometimes going from hitting to pitching back to hitting is sometimes tough. But I mean, I've grown to doing them both throughout the last few years in practice and fall and everything. So I mean, I have confidence in my pitching. Obviously, I still do it, work on it a lot, and I like competing out there, and got put in the situation and did what I do, I guess.
Jake, when Scott strikes out there, you face a little 2 out, you base it. How much you guard against the sort of here we go again type feel when you've had games like where you guys haven't come through? Or did that enter your mind in that moment? Just needed to hit.
No, I think it was more just picking up the team, picking up Scotty at that point. Just wasn't trying to do too much, just trying to, like I said, see it up and put a good swing on it, and luckily it found a hole.
Is there a sense of relief when that happens? When you're on base after you hit the ball like that? It's just-
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If you just said no, I was going to say you're lying.
Yeah, that felt great. Obviously, to get the 2 runs and go ahead. Personally, it felt really good for me after having a not-so-great weekend at Iowa. As a team, it felt really great to swing the bats pretty well and have some big hits because we haven't been getting those 1 or 2 big hits that we, you know, at the end of the game in some games. So it felt good to really, you know, get those hits and execute down the stretch.
Karen, were you guys trying anything differently in terms of steals, things like that, to kind of get things going tonight? Did you have to?
I mean, we juggled the lineup around a little bit. We had talked about making a few adjustments, you know, trying to have a little more action towards the bottom of the order. You know, we tried to safety once and safety squeeze, and Fish fouled it off. You know, we worked the bunt game. We had a couple good bunts. Luis put one down. We had Blake put down a great bunt. You know, we're going to have to manufacture. I mean, we're not going to sit up there and knock out 15 hits a game. It's just not going to happen. We got some very good hitters, but we faced a lot of very good arms. We're going to have to find ways to manufacture a little bit. And, you know, we ran a rip and run first pitch with Blake in the 2-hole out of the gate, and didn't go so well. But again, we're going to find different ways. We're going to try and skill guys that can skill and just scratch and claw. And huge, you know, you look at West, huge walk for him to lead off that whole thing out of the 9-hole. That was big. That was a big part of that right there. So it was great to see.
Both Lubac and Blachek kind of dinged up over the weekend. Do you know their long-term status, or at least maybe over the next week or so?
Yeah, I think, you know, Lubac felt much better today. He did some of the tests that you have to go through for the concussion symptoms. I don't know if he was diagnosed with a concussion or concussion symptoms, so I'm not quite sure where that was at, but I know he passed everything great today. Did some workouts, felt great. There'll be another step tomorrow. It's heading in the right direction. We'll just see how he responds. Plachek had, he dove for a ball and his non-throwing shoulder got bruised up his rotator cuff a little bit, and he's had this before. We had this in the fall. I think he even had last year, and he feels like it's not as bad. He did have better range of motion. He's going to travel this weekend. I don't know to what extent he's going to be available, but so I guess you can call him the old day-to-day thing.
Time for one more, if you guys need it.
Hey, Coach, just, Jake mentioned it a little bit, but after a tough weekend at Iowa, you see him, come through with 3 hits in his last 3 at bats, a game winner. How big was that for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, you just never know when you're going to be, have stretches as an offense or as an individual where you just can't buy a hit. And, we've gone through times where, like Josh said, we've fought and we need that one hit and we just haven't got it. And that's why you just keep grinding. You just keep believing in your approach. You keep believing in yourself and you keep working and you're going to find holes. But when you lose that faith, that belief, it can be very tough. But the one thing that I know and the one thing that I believe very strongly in is as long as that's gone, where we haven't got a big hit, when you start getting big hits, look out because they come in bunches. And I hope I'm right because we need them in bunches coming forward. But it's great to see the guys fight through it. And like I said, today could have gone either way. It could have easily, they could have just rolled over and got smoked and got crushed today. And they didn't. And, it's, obviously not the greatest situation to be in, but there's a lot worse situations to be in. And we have some opportunities in front of us. And I'm just really proud of the guys tonight, the way they all battled.
How do you guys describe this early on Thursday? The coach playing before you
Clarification from the umpires. It is Rule 7, Section 2. It is on page 64. If the DH is replaced offensively, the DH may become the pitcher at the time of the substitution, which is what, obviously, that man knew. For now, it's still Colton. For that, I'm going to have to call the NCAA because the umpires believe Colton, but it's a question that I will need clarification from the NCAA.
Sure hope not. think he's still in there, the locker, or his locker. I don't know. He might have, I don't know.
Glenn was
We were
asking
supposed to wait until
for Glenn.
I know.
Just listen to orders.
Coach Ed Service in the middle, first baseman Reagan Fowler, and on the far right, third baseman Harrison Crawford. You were. Coach, if you'll start with the opening statement.
Yeah, it was a good game. From a fan's perspective. And the difference in most college baseball games, or most baseball games in general, come down to two-out base hits. And, they got more two-out base hits than we did. You got to give them some credit. Second baseman came up with a big hit in a tough situation when, we just got the guy in front of him to strike out. And, he put a good swing on a pitch. And, they were able to get a few more two-out base hits than we were. But I'm proud of our guys. I thought they hung in there. I thought we played well. This game's going to make us better. We got some better games down the road, bigger games that we have to focus on, and we'll learn from this. And we have a short turnaround. We got to get ready. We got to play tomorrow night.
Take questions.
Reagan, talking a little bit about what you're thinking after your double drives in Nicky, nobody out, you're back within a run. What's going through your mind at that point?
Well, I knew that we were going to bunt the next guy, and then was just hoping that someone, we either got a hit or sacrifice fly, and it didn't happen. But, I mean, I don't know. I was hoping just for that, I guess.
I guess in that situation, was there much deliberation about letting Brett swing or bringing Weidman's to let him out?
Well, Brett was out of the game already. David went in the bottom or top of the eighth, so it was going to be Weideman or a pinch hitter, but Murray was gone.
Both players, obviously you guys jump out in front again. They just kind of slowly, everybody, grind it out both sides the whole way. I mean, I imagine it's frustrating for the second straight game like this to be there the whole time and then have it kind of slip away at the end. And just thoughts on the frustration there.
Against a team like as good as Nebraska, you just got to find a way to keep that lead. It is a little frustrating, but I thought we did a really good job hanging in there. Like Coach said, we just didn't want to go away, and even when they took the lead, we still found a way to scratch and claw our way back in. But we got to find a way to put the foot to the ground and find a way to just put games away a little better than we have.
Harrison, I think you guys had a 1-0 lead, and you drove that ball in the corner, slipped in the first, and then it looked double. Do you think maybe you could have ended up at third?
Definitely. It was just wasn't very good base running on my part, to be honest. And mistakes like that can't happen. But that hurt because Fitz drove one into the left center gap next pit or next at bat, and definitely could have scored off of that. But I feel like I would have made it to third. So it's a little frustrating, but that's part of baseball.
As you guys, like you said, turn around, you got to play again tomorrow. Is that good? Is that a good thing after a couple loss like that?
Yeah, it's real good. It's real good. I wish we didn't have to travel, but I think the players would like to go out in a half an hour and play, to be honest. So it's good that we do play tomorrow. We got a couple things we got to work out on. But I don't think we'll have any issues tomorrow getting ready to play. They're very disappointed right now. They should be. But they're big guys. They'll figure it out by tomorrow. And, we'll be anxious to play tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
You look at this weekend series now, obviously not going fast tomorrow, but, conference-wise, what do you guys need to get done here on the Seton Hall?
Well, Seton Hall presents a lot of problems. They're a very challenging team. Similar to what we saw tonight, they're going to be active on the base paths. So we've got, we don't have much time to prepare for them. But the good thing is we played them before. We played them 4 times last year. We kind of know what they like to do. So we'll play well tomorrow night against South Dakota State, and we'll get on the plane Thursday. We'll spend the rest of Thursday preparing for Seton Hall, and we'll tee it up at 6 o'clock against those guys. But this is a fun week for our guys, and we'll be okay. We'll be okay. I saw a lot of positives out there tonight, much more than the first time when we played them. And we went toe-to-toe with them. And they were, hey, they were hungry for a win too. You know, they had a rough weekend themselves, so we'll be okay. You know, we came out of this game just fine. We would prefer the W, but we got to work some new pitchers in tomorrow, but we'll be all right.
And I know you talked about it last time, but what did you think about Jack tonight and kind of the progress he
Really, really pleased with Jack Regala tonight. Very pleased. He made a heck of a pitch on Miller to strike him out in the top of the first. He threw strikes. He dropped his arm slot a little bit. I think I haven't had a chance to talk to Jack yet, but I was very impressed with his velocity. He got a couple really good hitters out, and he struck out a really hot hitter. Miller had a pretty good weekend for Nebraska over at Iowa, and he struck him out on a good change. So the next step for Jack will be, can we extend him into 2 innings? We'll see how his arm responds to tonight. He'll be going to Seton Hall with us, and it's my hope that we can get him involved with the weekend. And you know, that's what I'm talking about. That's a positive, to see what he can do. We're going to get Max Eising and Mark Lukowski on a mound tomorrow, and they haven't pitched in at least 7 weeks. So if they can do what Jack did, that'll give our pitching depth, give our pitchers some depth, which we desperately need, because you saw a tired Ethan DeCaster tonight, and you saw a tired Dave Gerber tonight.
Take 2 more questions.
You said, what's the ultimate goal in your mind with Jack, long term, in the rest of the season? Do you try?
I would say 2 to 3 innings. You know, I think he'll get another opportunity to start against Arkansas. I know that's way down the road, but that's 2 weeks from tonight. He'll get an opportunity before that. I think realistically 2 to 3 innings would be as far as we're going to push him. But you could see tonight why we like the guy, because this kid knows how to compete. He just carries himself a little differently on the mound than you see a lot of 18 to 23-year-olds. So we're going to find a spot for him, and hopefully he gets another opportunity this weekend.
Reagan, you guys are taking on a team who developed a pretty good rivalry with this weekend. Developed a pretty good rivalry. Can you talk a little bit about that series last year with those guys?
It was a little chippy. It's tough 3 games. I know they won the Friday night game 8-2, but I think we had a lead going into the top of the 7th or something and just lost. But, I mean, won 3 one-run games against them, and I know that they're going to want to come back and beat us. A lot of their team returned, so it's going to be a fun weekend. It'll be a good challenge. We just have to be ready to go.
Harrison, I guess your thoughts on that series as well. Do you feel like there's a little extra motivation there from the guys?
They did talk about Seton Hall quite a bit, and I mean, I personally haven't played against them, but I'm really excited to play a team. The East Coast kind of has that mentality, just a little chip on the shoulder, and I'm excited. The way we played today, if we can just bring that intensity for that game as well, for that series, I'm excited for this weekend, see what we can do.